Hi everyone.
Hi.
And welcome to part 3. I can't believe it.
I know already.
Part 3 of Meridian Yoga. We're really looking forward to this evening. Please say hi in the chat. Kat is in the yoga studio in the Shiatsu center, and I'm in my yoga room at home. Look, there's my yoga mat and everything. So I'm at home, and Kat's got the whole of the Shiatsu center. But just say, oh look, we've got people from America, Spain, Holland. Oh, terrific. Okay, so as usual, we're going to do some energy work exercises. We're going to be exploring the metal element. So I'll put the slides up and show you what we're going to be doing. Okay, so it's metal element, lung and large intestine this week. We're going to find out a little bit about how your energy moves with an energy exercise. We're going to go into the pathology of the lungs, large intestine from that energy exercise. And then we're going to link our 4 favorite points, which we've chosen this week, related to the metal element. And then Kat's going to do some yoga asanas that fit in with that. And there's some special stuff we're going to do as well, breathing, all kinds of things. I can't wait. Okay, so let's get straight on. Okay, we're going to go straight into a metal element exercise. Okay, so I'm going to do it sitting down, but you can do it standing up or whatever you like.
Go standing up then.
You need a piece of paper and a pen to write down what happens. Okay, so are you ready? Here we go. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're just going to sit or stand. We're just going to align ourselves and clear our energy field out so that we can tune into any energy movements that happen in our body. Okay, and then we're going to just imagine, which first of all, just tune in, just scan through your body, check your breathing. Okay, are you ready? So now what we're going to do is I'd like you to think of a time when you felt isolated or alone. So you're on your own or you feel isolated from people. So you might just want to close your eyes for a second and just imagine that feeling of being isolated or alone, and just see how your energy moves. Notice what happens to your breathing. Notice what happens to your temperature. And also just notice if there's any blockages or obstructions anywhere in your body as you think about a situation of being isolated and alone. Okay, so now we're going to turn that feeling or that movement of energy into a picture. Okay, and remember that picture. I'm going to get you to draw that in a minute. But before we do that, we're going to balance that out so that we can feel nice and positive for the rest of the evening. So we're going to balance that out by just thinking of a time when you were very happy, very sociable, meeting with people, to balance out the effect. Take some nice deep breaths. Okay, very good. So now you can just open your eyes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to draw the energy movement that we had when you felt isolated or alone. And you can draw it on your piece of paper, write on it. Just notice if it affected you anywhere particular in the body. Okay. Okay, everyone done it? Just write some words, draw some pictures. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run a poll to some of the common things that might have happened to you. And I'm going to read them out before I run the poll. So what happened to your energy when we did that exercise, when you felt that isolated or alone feeling? Okay, pick the main thing that happened. So did you feel kind of tired with breathing restricted? Or did you feel that your breath went up? Or did you feel tight or blocked anywhere in your body? or did you feel tight and blocked in the head? Or maybe you've got other, okay? And I'm going to run a poll. Just pick the one that you think was closest to what you felt, and we'll see what happens. Here's the poll. Tired, breathing restricted, breathing high up in the chest, tight or blocked in the body, tight or blocked in the head, or other. Wow, this is a surprise. I thought we'd get more tired with breathing restricted. That's what I thought would be the most common thing, but actually it's nowhere near the most common thing.
No.
Right, okay. Wow, interesting. Look, by far the most common thing was just being obstructed somewhere. We've got some points for that coming up, haven't we, Kat?
Yeah, we do. And breathing techniques, so it's all going to be cleared.
Yeah, we're going to be totally cured in in less than an hour from now. Okay, so look, what I did was, what we did actually, did some research on the main symptoms and the main TCM syndrome or patterns, and we've got the points that link in with that. So if you felt tired with your breathing restricted, then that tends to indicate that you're lung key deficient. If you got heat as well, some of you might have had heat. That means there could be some yin deficiency in there as well, and that's important because some of the points that we're going to discuss also treat yin deficiency, so they cool the body. Breathing high up in the chest, that's a really common one. That's because the lungs are not descending the chi, and again, we've got points for that. So if you've got clients who you notice that they're breathing up really high in the body, then some lung points are very useful for that. Now, if you got blocked in the body, it could be more of a large intestine thing. The large intestine governs more the whole body obstructions. It's used to treat obstructions anywhere in the body. But also the large intestine channel, as I'm sure you know, runs into the head and it links with all of the sense organs. So those of you that got tight or block in the head, then you'll be interested in those points. Okay, so then we thought, right, let's think of 4 of our favorite points. I know you can probably guess what some of them are, and here they are. We chose lung 1, lung 9, large intestine 4, and large intestine 20. And I'm going to just show you where they are, remind you, I'm sure you probably know where they are, but I'm going to remind you in a minute. Lung 1 we chose because it's really good for descending the lung key. So those 23% of you that had that, you were really experienced lung 1. Lung key deficiency and lung yin deficiency. If you felt a bit weak in the breathing and you felt tired, then that's a really good one for you. If, however, you felt isolated and alone and you've got a feeling of obstruction in the body, what you really need there is the releasing aspect of large intestine 4, which actually regulates the defensive chi. It also can treat the head, so that's also good for those of you who voted for tight and blocked in the head. But it's also used for any pain and obstruction anywhere in the body. And one other thing, which we couldn't fit in because we only had 5 options, is if you've got any congestion or blockages in the nasal passages. Maybe some of you who had tight or blocked in the head felt that congested feeling. Large intestine 20 is a local point for that. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at where those points are. We've got lung 1 is 1 sun, that's the width of 1 thumb, below lung 2, which is right up here in the clavicle. And you can just find it by feeling along your clavicle until there's an indentation, going down 1 body inch, 1 sun, and that's lung 1. You just gently press that, you'll feel that's where the lung channel emerges from the body. And it's very good for descending the lung chi. Lung 9 is on the wrist, goes out towards the thumb, and it tonifies the lungs. So that's really good. And it also descends the chi from the lungs as well. So it's super useful for that. Very easy to find, great to recommend to clients as well if they're having breathing difficulties.
I love the name of that one, Cliff.
Yes, let's have a look at that. Supreme Abyss. Yes, I know. What an awesome name. Fantastic. Large intestine 4, possibly one of the most famous points in the whole of Shiatsu. You know where it is. It's halfway down this bone here, and you press in towards inwards towards this on this bulge. There's 2 ways of finding it actually. It's either halfway down this bone, which is what we've got in the diagram, or the other way to do it is to squeeze your thumb against your finger like that, and then it's right on top of that bulge there, and you press in towards the bone. Okay, don't forget that's contraindicated in pregnancy. So if you're pregnant or you might be pregnant, be careful of pressing that point. And I've used that many times for labour inductions. I'm sure many Shiatsu practitioners have done that. Large intestine 20, very easy to find again, right by the outside of the nose there. Meeting point of the large intestine and stomach meridians. You remember last week we investigated the stomach channel on the front of the body. Well, this is where those channels meet, and they both dominate the front of the body. And of course, it's used for nasal congestion. So there's just a reminder of where the points are. And now what Kat's going to do, like she did last week, is she's going to take us on a little journey of yoga and breathing exercises that integrate the yoga asanas with those points. And I can't wait, because metal element is one of my issues.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Useful.
So I'm going to just get rid of the slides, and I'll just leave the room for a bit. And it's over to you, Kat.
Thanks, Cliff. Brilliant. So it was really lovely showing exactly where the points are. We're going to connect to them again before we move to a sequence. But what I'd like to do first is read from this really lovely book that I've got called A Widening Field by a lady called Miranda Tufnell, and she's a professional dancer, contemporary dancer, and a craniosacral therapist. And she's put together lots of things about the body and some poetry and things like that. And there's this bit in there that really resonates so well with the metal element. And I just wanted to read it to you all, so you kind of get a flavor with some words as well as the points. And it's called Breath of Life. In many creation stories, the world begins in the movement of wind over water, the breath of life stirring the darkness. And as we prepare to make or create, it is the breath that brings us back into life, loosening and awakening what has forgotten to breathe. To breathe is the means by which we open, cleanse, nourish the body. Every aspect of our lives depends on our capacity to breathe. Without the winds of breath, the body becomes heavy and dense, closed in on itself, as if a plant that withers without light or water. Without breath, we lose connection to an essential rhythm within ourselves of inspiration and letting in, of softening and exhalation. And as the winds of the world come in many forms and from many directions, so the inspiration of each breath opens, lightens, and help us to move on. There we are. So I love those words, and I thought it connected really wonderfully with the Chinese medicine and also the yoga that we're going to be practicing and engaging with too. So before we go off and do a sequence, and then later we'll come to the large intestine and lung makaho, I would like to share with you some alternate nostril breathing with an added hand mudra. So a lot of the time when we do alternate nostril breathing, we'll use thumb and index finger. I've been practicing with a hand mudra, which is the thumb to mainly the ring finger, but the little finger can get connected too. And I showed Cliff earlier, and he said, oh, it's amazing because the thumb, the lung channel, is getting connected to the triple heater in the Meridian system. And the wonderful thing is this hand mudra is called prana mudra, and prana in Indian language, in Sanskrit, means life force and comes from breath, kind of similar to chi or ki. So I thought that connects wonderfully together. So choosing a hand, whichever one is easiest for you, and making the prana mudra, And what we're going to do is the nose is going to go in between the thumb and the fingers and rest the index finger and middle finger on the third eye. And we will, as usual, I'll turn sideways so you can see, blocking off the right nostril. And what we're going to do, as long as we're sitting nice and comfortably and the spine's growing nice and tall and the shoulders are nice and wide as well, we're going to close off the right nostril with the thumb, and we're going to breathe in through the left nostril, close with the fingers, and then open the right and breathe out. And then the same thing, breathing in through the right, closing it off, and breathing out through the left. The other amazing thing I learned recently about the alternate nostril breathing, it's just a short fact, and then we'll get cracking onto the breathing. So with Indian medicine, they've known this for a long, long time, that it cleanses the body and helps integrate left and right together. But I've got a little date, 1895, a German physician called Richard Kayser, that's Kayser, he found scientifically that the right nostril, which is linked to the left side of the brain, is connected to the sympathetic nervous system, and the left nostril to the right side of the brain is connected to our parasympathetic nervous system. And whilst I was trying this out earlier, I realized just by breathing on my finger that actually my left nostril was quite blocked. Now it's more balanced because I've had a little go already today with alternate nostril breathing, but hopefully by doing this, it will help balance out the nervous system, which does a multitude of benefits for us. So without further ado, and me rabbiting on, let's try together some alternate nostril breathing. So sitting comfortably, letting the pelvis drop towards the ground, whether you're sitting on the floor or a chair. I'm going to breathe in through the left nostril. And breathing in through the right, and then closing it. So there's a pause at the inhalation, at the top of the inhalation, and closing the breath. Opening the left side. And not forcing our breath, really just breathing in as far as this is comfortable, so we're not going to get dizzy or a bit lightheaded. We're really cleansing left and right side of the body. So taking a few more breaths in your own time, no rush at all. And then on your next exhalation through your right nostril, taking the hand away, just giving a little shake out if needed. And perhaps just checking in. Maybe things have opened up a bit. I feel a lot better, even more so on my left side. And also it's opened up my neck and come down into my shoulders as well. Feels a lot clearer. Great. So hope that felt okay for you. Obviously, if you get any shoulder or arm ache, you can hold, which I should have mentioned for you, hold the elbow or just rest the arm now and again and come back to the nostrils for breathing. So I know we've connected or been shown where the points are, as we all pretty much know where they are. And I thought if we just connect to them again and get some energetic quality to them so we can carry that through into the sequence. And since we're on the face doing some alternate nostril breathing, I thought we could connect to the large intestine 20. So like Cliff showed on the slides, just under the nose here, and gently angling inwards towards, it's kind of like where the top of the teeth are in the gums, in the mouth. And I like to do this thing where I gently lean my head forward. So instead of pressing in with my fingers, letting the weight of my head just gently tilting forward. This point's really great for hay fever, actually. It's a good one for unblocking all sorts of things in the sinuses. Great. Feeling really open. Lovely. And then if we come to connect to lung 1, so I'm going to alternate between the points. And I like to find the point, so just below the clavicle, and then one sun down in this nice dip. I like to use 2 or 3 fingers, so this arm's nice and relaxed, and I'm gently pressing inwards. This one usually makes me yawn, which is good thing. It's clearing and opening things in the lung channel. Definitely what we need, what I need. And then coming to the other side. So finding that point on the clavicle and dropping down, 1 sun, 1 thumb width. Using the fingers and kind of pressing inwards in towards the chest. Feels this lovely opening in the chest. We want to get this lovely quality going for when we're moving in the asanas, in the sequence. Great, and let's come down the arm. So from lung 1, comes down the inside of the arm towards the thumb. And before we get to the thumb, on the wrist, thumb side, slightly in, there's like a little dip, and that's where our lung 9 is. It's a great one. Cliff got the massive acupuncture book out for me, and I had a little look at this point. And it's actually the earth connection on the lung meridian in Chinese medicine. And I think this is going to be really handy when we're doing our yoga and we're on all fours, to connect the earth up through the hands to help support the wrist and the arms and shoulders, so we don't have any sore wrists and we get lots of strength from the ground. So we can do that both sides. Great. And then coming down into that lovely V shape part between the index finger and thumb. Obviously, if anyone's pregnant or you are, or someone that you know that you're pressing this point, don't do it. But as Cliff says, it's very good for labour. So later on, when the baby needs to come out, it's good for pressing. This point's really great also for headaches and, well, general pain in the body. It's really nice for shifting and eliminating things that we don't need, like headaches. Lovely. So we've got these points nicely activated on our face, chest and arms and hands. So if we come to lie down this week, we're going to start in Shavasana, which is corpse's pose. So lying down, you can have your feet up. If there's any lower back pain, you can have your feet planted on the floor and the knees up to the sky, or allowing the legs out nice and long. So we're just going to allow ourselves, if you want to, you can close your eyes. And we're just going to allow all the cells and the nervous system to process all the things that we've just done. All the breathing and the breath work and the activation of the points. It's actually lots of things to process. So allowing the body to really give in to gravity and allow it to really rest on the ground. So if there's any holding in the shoulders, see if you can let them melt into the ground, and the legs, anywhere in the diaphragm, allowing the ribs to melt towards the ground, and also the head and the neck. So allowing the face to soften as well. And we'll just take a few breaths. So as we breathe in, we're going to breathe in, not a forced breath, very natural. As we breathe in, we're going to breathe in some yummy, pure ki or chi, or that prana, that life force. We're going to breathe in what we need. And we're going to breathe out through the mouth anything that we don't need. Thoughts or feelings or tension in the body, we can let it leave us on that exhalation. Breathing in that lovely life force, pure ki, and breathing out anything that we don't need. One more breath, breathing in what we need, what we can take from the air to nourish us, and breathing out what we don't need. Great. So from here, you can keep your eyes closed if you wish, or you can open them. I can talk us through the next part. We're going to do the wind pose again, which is the first asana that we connected to in the kidney and bladder, the water element webinar, the very first one. So if you need a strap or a scarf around the knees, if it's a bit too tight on the shoulders, but we're going to take the hands round the kneecaps and allowing the arms to lengthen, keeping the head and neck nicely relaxed on the floor. So if the head and neck is coming away, perhaps you need a cushion underneath or take a strap too around the knees. And we're going to breathe in, lengthening the knees away. And as we breathe out, we're just going to very gently allow the hands to draw the knees towards us. And you can breathe out through your mouth if that's comfortable for you, or you can stick to breathing in through the nose, in and out through the nose. Breathing in, extending, and breathing out, really letting everything go that you don't need. So, as it's named, the wind pose, don't need to explain too much about that, but connecting it to the lung and large intestine is really great. So any kind of stale air in the lower part of the lungs, because they're massive organs, coming from the top of the ribs at the top where the clavicle is, coming right down towards the diaphragm. This pose is great for allowing that stale air to be sent out of the body and allowing fresh oxygen in. So just a few more of these, really only going as far as is comfortable, remembering our Scaravelli approach, undoing the doing. We're going to move with the breath so we don't force anything. Lovely, and allowing the feet to come back to the floor again. And checking in, where's the breath and how does that feel? So from here, we're going to roll onto our side and come to all fours. So taking your time to come up to all fours. And here we're going to wonderfully connect, way too much hair, wonderfully connect our points together. So we've got the large intestine 20, lung 1, lung 9 and the large intestine 4. Wow, what a powerhouse of strength from the hands, wrists and up into the face. So when we collapse, it's closing off these channels. And if we allow the breath and the energy up from the ground, so that lung 9, the earth point in the lung channel, is really great for stabilizing the wrists and allowing energy to come up into the shoulder, so we can make our asanas and movements a lot more easier and effortless. So from here, we're going to kind of do a cat-cow variation. And we're going to begin by breathing in. As we breathe in, we're going to allow the nose, so our large intestine 20, to open. We're going to come into the cow pose, keeping the shoulders, that lung 1, nice and open. And as we breathe out, we're going to come into the cat pose, curling the back. We are gently closing in the front, but it's kind of massaging this area in the chest. And we're going to continue to breathe out and draw the tailbone back towards the heels. And we're going to come to a child's pose here. And we'll take another breath in and out. And as we breathe in again, we're going to allow the face to draw us forward, keeping the shoulders engaged as well. So as we rock onto the forearms, it's not collapsing and we're staying nice and strong in the shoulders and the hands. And we're going to come back up to all fours into the cow pose. So it's a circular motion, breathing out, drawing back to child's pose. Taking a breath in and releasing into the ground on the exhalation. The next in-breath, the face looks forward and draws us through the forearms and up into all fours again, into the cow pose. So taking your time with the breath, only going as far as is comfortable, not forcing anything at all. So if this is too much on the wrist, so continue in your own rhythm, and I'm going to show a few modifications. So if that's too much on the wrist, you can get a cushion. I'll show you very quickly, or two. So if you have a client, or if you indeed have sore wrists, so if you get a cushion and you keep it close to you and have the top edge on the wrists, basically allows a wedge and it gives more support to the wrists here, which is a lot easier. You can keep using them for the forearms there. And I'll also show a version on a chair, because it's possible that we have some clients that really want to get down on the floor and they just can't because of sore wrists and knees, and they really need some lung activation and getting rid of things that they don't need. So sitting on a chair and connecting the feet to the ground. If you're continuing with the sequence on the floor, obviously rest when you need to, and redo the sequence when you feel you're ready to. So yeah, we'll come to, this is a modification for someone who isn't able with the wrists or the knees. So feet spread on the ground and the sitting bones connected to the chair. As you can see, I'm quite small, and sitting back in the chair, there's not a good connection with the feet. And I'm going to allow my hands to rest on the thighs here. And the similar movements, same benefits, but not quite the same in pattern. So we're going to breathe in, same thing here, allowing the face, the large intestine 20, to move away from the tailbone. And and we are elongating the spine. And then breathing out, drawing back, curving the spine, and then we're going to curl through. Face leads to come back up into our seated cow position and then down into a cat. So again, rolling through the shoulders. And you can do this one quite subtly as well. Doesn't have to be a huge movement either. Lovely. I'll just put the chair away again. So that's a modification for anybody. So I will come back to the floor. Anytime you need to shake the wrists out, hopefully they're feeling okay with this amazing lung 9. Give the wrists a nice shake. Great, and we're going to come back to all fours again. And now this time with the breath, very similar to last week with the earth element, we're going to extend a leg in tabletop, but this time we're allowing the toes to stay connected to the ground. So the same with the cat-cow variation that we've just done. We're going to breathe in and allow the face and the lung 1 to really open here. So we're not dropping in the shoulders or pinching forward. Open here. Breathing in. And as we breathe out, the head and the knee. So I'm going to use my right knee is drawing forward and closing together. And I'm going to allow my toes to tuck under. And as I breathe in, I'm going to press my foot along the floor, opening up the face again in the front. If it is too much on the neck, just keep the face looking forward. But as long as this is all nice and open, connecting to the points, that's brilliant. So we'll do this a couple of times, breathing out, breathing in, and out, in, and keeping the hands and the wrists nice and strong and energized with those wonderful points. That's great. And then allowing that knee to come back down to the ground and padding the hands out. There's another amazing thing connected to the feet actually with the lung and large intestine. So in Zen Shiatsu, Masanaga extends the Chinese meridian system, and it goes down the back of the leg, the lung and large intestine, and hooks underneath the foot, under here, and then towards the big toe. So opening the leg and the foot along the floor like this is also activating our Zen Shiatsu meridians as well. So enough of my chatting. I'm going to do the left side. So we'll do this a few times together as well. So breathing in, allowing the face and shoulders to really open, and breathing out. Stabilizing this supporting leg as well. Not forgetting to smile, because we can enjoy this too. And then making this one the last one, and drawing the knee back into all fours. Again, coming back and releasing the wrists if that's needed. So this time we're going to come back to all fours. We're going to gently open the hands and the chest. So as we breathe in, we're going to strengthen as we breathe out, we're going to strengthen this lung 9 on the wrist near the thumb. So as we breathe out, we're going to send energy down so this arm gets nice and strong and stabilized, making sure the elbows kind of face one another on the inside. I have a tendency to roll my elbow towards where my face is looking. That's going to strain the wrist. So we want to make sure the middle part of the elbows are facing one another. That's going to help greatly. So breathing out, sending more energy and weight. I'm going to go down into my left hand and I'm going to breathe in and extend my right and open up like a book. And breathing out, pressing this hand down, the right hand, and opening as I breathe in, allowing that other arm, my left arm, to open. Breathing out, connecting down into the ground and opening the side. I'm following with my face as well, if that's okay for your neck. Breathing in and opening the chest, and breathing out, connecting that hand down into the ground. So it's breathing out what you don't need. It's a nice connection with that large intestine 4. Breathing in. One more on the left side. Taking our time and only going as far as is comfortable. So on my left side, it's a lot tighter than the right. So I'm going to just go as far as is comfortable, even if the arm only comes up a little way. Lovely. And then sitting back to release the wrists and arms. I hope everyone's doing all right. I'm just going to knit these two movements together with the arm and leg. If this is feeling a little uncomfortable or a bit difficult today, it's completely fine. You can stick with the leg move or just the arms, or if you want to try this all together as well. We'll only do it a few times each side. So same beginning as the cat-cow variation. So we're going to breathe in, the nose sending to look forward, and we're going to breathe out, right side, the knee draws in, toes tuck under, and breathing out, breathing in here, extending the leg and opening the shoulders. Got a nice space with the hands. I'm going to rotate my right foot out, plant my left hand down as I breathe out, and as I breathe in, I'm going to open up this side of my body. So this is all open, nice and stable with the breath, and then closing it all back down to the stable all fours. We'll do that the other side. So breathing in, extending nose to tail, breathing out, drawing the knee in on the left side, breathing in, extending that foot away. That's great. And then we're going to breathe out, roll the foot so it's connected flat to the ground. Really connect that right hand deep into the ground, and breathing in, opening the left side up. Keep your head facing forward if it's uncomfortable on the neck, or keeping the arm here and folding back down again. Let's do that once more on each side. So breathing in, allow the face to open. Breathing out, knee drawing, and then the feet away. Breathing in, breathing out, plant the other hand, turning the leg, and then we're going to really breathe in and open that chest, the lung channel and the large intestine channel on the arm, and drawing that back down to all fours and padding the hands and knees out as well. And then the left side, breathing in, breathing out, knee, breathing in again, extending the foot away, planting the hand and turning the extended leg out, and expanding with that other arm, breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. And then if you need to, come back to child's pose. If you need a bolster underneath the knees or the pelvis, or coming to toes and forearms, if that's easier on the ankles and the shoulders. So really resting here, letting that breath rest. So as you're just resting there, I want to be mindful of the time. Great, you're doing great. So even here we're allowing the face to relax, and in the shoulder as well. Our lung one is having a nice relaxing time. So when you're ready, if you'd like to, we're going to keep this same feeling of breathing in and kind of looking forward. So for us to come up to standing, we're going to breathe in and allow the face to look forward. And then we're going to roll through onto our forearms, allowing the shoulders to stay nice and active and supported here. Tucking the toes under. And connecting the hands to the ground, and we're going to gently allow the pelvis to float up towards the sky. We're going to keep our knees soft this week because we really want this lovely connection with the hands and the wrists. So padding out the feet into the ground. You can also do this with your hands resting on a chair if upward facing dog. No, down face dog is uncomfortable. So keeping that connection with the hands nice and firm and stable. And we're going to gently walk the feet in. And we're going to come to an Uttanasana, keeping the knees soft. And you can allow, if it's comfortable, the ribs to rest on the thighs, even if there's a nice deep bend. And allow the chest and head and neck to relax. Same thing, we can also do this holding weight with pressing on a chair if that's easier. And to undo, we're going to soften the knees, uncurl, and allow the arms to float up in front of us. Taking a breath here, and if this is okay, I'm just going to step back so you can see. I'm just going to allow the shoulders to melt down the ribs at the back, and making sure that we're standing in our bodies, in our feet, not too far forward. And then from here, I'm going to step the right foot back, gently turning it out a tiny point, just a little. And amazingly, we're in Warrior One. And we're going to breathe in and allow the front leg to lengthen and the arms to drop. And we're going to breathe out and float the arms up and the knee forward. Breathing in and lengthening the leg and the spine. Breathing out, everything can just gently ease in the knee and the arms and shoulders. Breathing in, breathing out. Keeping the knee nice and stable so it doesn't swing from side to side. Lovely. And the next time our arms are nicely floated up, same thing that we did on all fours, allow the back foot to slightly rotate a little bit more. So they're now facing forwards this way. And it's allowed the pelvis to open. And I'm allowing this to swing the ribs open too, and the arms. That's right, we're in Warrior Two. And the same thing again, we're going to breathe in and lengthen the leg and the arms down. Breathe out, everything can float. I like to wiggle my hands and wrists and sometimes the torso, so I can keep adjusting and seeing how that feels. So breathing out, really opening the chest and the knee, breathing in, lengthening, breathing out, opening, breathing in, lengthening. Lovely. And then from here, just going to swing forward. So I'm going to swing my back leg and arm forward. You can press off. Great. And I'm going to turn around, so I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to step back my left foot, just gently turning it out, keeping our nice Warrior One. And breathing in, lengthening the leg and dropping the shoulders, and the spine can grow tall. Breathing out, floating forward, breathing in. Also play with your stance. If you want it a bit shorter, please feel free to do so. And my leg is elongated, I've got a bit of a baggy trouser. So lengthening on the in-breath, softening and opening as you breathe out. Soft with the arms, you can wiggle the fingers and the wrists. Allow breath to move through the torso, having a little wiggle as we move. And then next time the arms are up and the knees soft, we're going to allow that left foot, the back foot, to rotate out so the feet, toes are pointing this way. The hips turn, then the ribs and the arms can open. We're in our gorgeous warrior two. Same thing, we're going to breathe in, lengthen everything. Breathe out, open and soften in the knees and the shoulders. Breathing in and lengthen. Breathe out. Lovely. Allow breath and movement in the spine. Certainly not one for being still and stiff. I like to keep flow and moving. And Scaravelli very much moved. She was allowing like ripples through the body as she did her practice with her asanas. Lovely. Next one, as we're open, then we're going to swing the back leg and arm through. Great. Here. And then drawing the hands into prayer position, drawing down, taking a nice breath in and out, and then shaking the arms and legs out. I hope everyone's doing all right. Don't know about you, Cliff, but I'm a lot warmer than when I first started, but it's quite warm in here anyway. And oh, here he is.
Oh, that was so great.
Yeah, oh good. And obviously you can use the whole sequence if you want to, but either for yourself or a client, if there's like one movement that looked really good, you can kind of choose what's going to work for them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because quite a lot of several of the actual positions or the asanas are the same as we did last week, but they completely change with a different focus, don't they?
That's it. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, really. Yeah. And the other thing I really liked is the way that you can extend make the extended meridians, like especially this one where you were doing that one where you stretch the leg out.
Yes, that's it.
You can feel it. And that's really important for descending the chi, isn't it? Because the thing is, we tend to focus on, when we think about lung and large intestine, we often think about the upper body.
Yeah.
But actually, if we're going to get that lung chi to descend, it's really important to integrate it and get it down, isn't it? Down, further down into the...
That's it, yeah. In Indian philosophy, they always say the sages breathe through their feet.
All right.
So not the nose or the belly, through the feet.
Through the feet. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that. It's really good. And those opening ones are great, aren't they, for the lungs as well?
And you can also, same thing again, if you're a client or you don't want to do it on all fours, even sitting, as long as the spine's aligned and we're not forward like this, you can do the same thing, just opening, but following the hand with the ribs so that it's not ribs first or arm going before the chest. But same thing, you can open up this way as well.
Yes.
So yeah, there's many possibilities. You can do the movement, yeah. But I wondered, do you think we've got time to do the lung and large intestine makaho?
Yeah, definitely. You've left plenty of time. You've got 5 minutes. That's brilliant. I'll just get off the stage so you've got full stage.
Well, we'll just do it twice through, just so you get the feeling of it. So if you'd like to join me quickly on the lung and large intestine makaho, we'll come back up to standing if you aren't already. and we'll come to a nice parallel, and we're going to do it Scaravelli style. So if you've done Makaho before, it's probably very similar, but with a slight difference. So to begin with, we're just going to float the arms up and take in a yawn. The lovely Annie Cryer taught me this version. Brilliant woman. So breathing in and yawning, and breathing out. And we're going to breathe in again and yawn, allowing the arms to just float up and connecting and spreading the feet in the ground. And this time, as we breathe out, we're going to soften the knees, fold in at the pelvis. So we're floating over a nice beach ball. We can keep the knees nice and soft and allow the hands to come to the sacrum. So head and neck relaxed. And you can interlace the hands or the thumbs and extend the index finger. We'll take a few breaths if that feels okay for you. And then on an out breath, just gently rising the arms slightly off the sacrum. If that's too much on the shoulder joint, leave the hands on the pelvis. So we're allowing space in that lovely lung one, and we're opening up the back of the legs like in the Masanaga, extensions of the meridians. And then on the next out breath, allow the hands to come to the sacrum, soften the knees and uncurl, and allow the arms to float up as well. And shake out. Let's try that once more together just before we finish the webinar. So breathing in and yawning. And as we breathe out, we can soften everything on the front of the body, softening. Clasping the hands together onto the pelvis, keeping the knees nice and soft, no long legs here, or thumb and index finger if that's easier. If it's okay to allow the arms to just gently come away from the sacrum, not forcing anything at all. And then on the next out breath, allow the hands to drop to the sacrum if they were away, soften the knees and uncurl, allow the arms to float up and undo. And then we can shake those legs out. There we are. That's a Scaravelli approach to the lung and large intestine, Makaho. I hope that worked for everybody. Don't know how that felt.
Do you know what really occurs to me? It makes me think about what we'll be doing toward the end of the series, and that's applying those Makaho exercises and yoga exercises to when you have deficiency in the channel. Because you know what I mean? That was I've never done it like that, Kat, and it's really good because you see that would be suitable for somebody who had lung key deficiency. You don't really want them to be overstretching and sedating the channel too much. You know what I mean?
That's it. And you could use the meridians and the way you practice things.
Yeah.
To work for the syndromes and what the people have got. You know.
Exactly. And you can link it with the hard diagnosis. And I'd like to do that in the last one, in part 5. I'd like to share with the group and with you, Kat, about how I've actually used Meridian Yoga to give recommendations based on the hard diagnosis and some of the successes I've had with treating specific things. So, but I've learned so much. I've got so much more already to play with. It's really, really good. Especially the Makaho exercises, because they can be done in quite a sort of aggressive way and really quite a stretchy, sort of forced way, can't they?
Yeah, there's some textbooks that they look, I understand why they show those images, but actually the finished pose, not that I have a goal with getting my head wrapped to the finished pose, it looks like you need to get there and it's done in a certain way that's too forced, in my opinion.
I totally agree, because actually it's more the energetics, isn't it? It's the energetics of it that really matters.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, let's finish up. I can't believe it. It's already 7 o'clock. What? It's just flown past.
I know. We're almost done. We can wrap it up.
And there's loads of hearts coming into the chat. I'm going to put one in myself. I've had a fantastic time and it's really made so much sense. I hope everyone else has enjoyed it, and you must come back next week because we've got, I think it's the fire element, isn't it, Kat?
It is, yeah. That's
Yeah.
usually one for me, actually.
Yes. And you've got a actual, if anyone lives near Norwich, by the way, Kat's got a day of Scaravelli yoga on the 19th of June. It's a face-to-face class, not online. So just contact us. You can email admin at New Energy Work if you can't remember this address, info@meridianyoga.co.uk.
It will be a certain amount, it will be limited because I will be making sure we've got enough space, social distance spacing. But yeah,
Right.
it's an intro day to a Meridian Yoga teacher training course. But whether you want to become a yoga teacher, or you're just interested in a yoga day, like come along, it will be fun. It's separate from the course. So if you want to come and have some Scaravelli yoga, 10 till 4 at inner space. But
Not
yeah,
very much use if they're in America or in Southeast Asia or Australia, it could be a little bit too far to come, but never mind.
yeah,
Anyone
that's
who's
why I
nearby.
put Norwich, UK. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Massive thank you to everyone who's donated so far. That's absolutely great. That's really great. Thank you so much. It really, really makes us feel very happy when we can pay all the bills to keep this thing going and help people, help the Shiatsu community. So thank you very much to everyone who's donated. Okay, so see you next week for the fire element.
Yeah. When am I coming to Spain? When we can fly? Yes. I'll be there.
Okay. Thank you, Shakura, for the chat. Did a great job. I can see it's been spinning along. Okay, see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again, Kat. Bye.